communicating with us through Twitter and through chat boxes where they can ask us questions live.
Fantastic.
So we might have some questions for you from the viewers.
Sounds
Where have
great.
these questions been coming from? You mentioned that some of them were from pretty far away.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had people come in from Peru and Colombia and a couple other spots around the world. I don't recall the other spots, but I do know those stick out in my mind.
Just is so cool that, you know, there's people right now sitting in Peru and Colombia watching us right here at New Beginnings at our booth.
And this was what we were sharing with the folks at home. This is like a seminar that they're getting from the IFCO for free. No charge. They're just sitting at home. And while people are at New Beginnings listening to these phenomenal speakers, we have some other guests here from the IFCO booth that are sharing their wisdom and their knowledge and their pearls or their gifts to everybody else out there. And so we're going to have you chit-chat a little bit about the direction of IFCO, where that's going. We have a few more questions that Bryn and I came up with. So let's just get going. Shane Walker, president of IFCO, and he's just leading the field in a great direction. I'm proud to be not only a colleague, but a friend too. So let's just go, where is the IFCO going?
You know, Frank, the thing that I'm most excited about with the growth that we've had is that it's easy to grow. It's not easy, but it's not terribly difficult to grow an organization and get new members and do all these things that we're doing when you're not working to build an organization, right? Yeah. We're not doing this to build an organization. We're doing this to restore chiropractic to its original state, to its original splendor, as one of the greatest gifts of God to mankind ever.
Right.
And the reality here is that unless we continue to work very, very hard at clearly defining and then advancing what chiropractic truly is, then the world doesn't get to receive that gift.
So what's the master plan that the IFCO has here?
Yeah, and that's important because for many, many years, chiropractors like us, subluxation-centered principal chiropractors, have been spouting off about the problems in chiropractic, spouting off about, they're trying to bring drugs into chiropractic. Well, that's not the problem, okay? The problem is that chiropractors have an identity crisis. We're not educating chiropractors on being chiropractors. So the IFCO has a plan, and we've got a plan to restore the profession, and it comes down to 4 steps. And our vision is to have these 4 things accomplished by 2025. One of those first 4 steps is driving more students to chiropractic colleges. We need more chiropractors, not only in the United States, but in the world. That's the biggest way to raise the profession up to where it needs to be. So our first step of the 2025 vision is drive students to chiropractic colleges. Step number 2 is making sure that we have an IFCO chiropractor on every state board in the United States, because that's where the change is made. That's where the scope of practice changes are made. That's where the laws are changed. The accreditation issues are changed within the scope and within the state laws. So until we have those boards, and every state board in the United States represented by a chiropractor, preferably an IFCO chiropractor, because we know what kind of song they're going to be singing, then we're not making a real change. That's the second step in our vision. Step number 3 is making sure that we have an IFCO chiropractors in 150 countries throughout the world. There's roughly 195 countries in the world. Our goal by 2025 is 150 countries, taking chiropractic to the world. That's not a cliche. At the IFCO, it's a real thing, okay? And the great thing is 2 years ago, we only had 8 countries represented. 8 countries represented by IFCO chiropractors or organizations. In 2 years, we've gone from 8 to 28 countries.
Wow.
So if you continue that out, we're going to be in 150 countries well before 2025.
28 countries with the IFCO.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic. That's really great.
And then the last step is the students. The students are the future of the profession. So we can work really hard at trying to change the old dogs that are in the field and practicing chiropractic the way we see it, or we can raise up a new generation, and that's exactly what we're doing. In fact, so the step number 4 in our 2025 vision is making sure we have IFCO student chapters at every chiropractic institution worldwide, and thanks to some really hard work by some of our leaders, we have student chapters at 16 chiropractic colleges. So that's our vision to help solve the problem. And you know what? When we can accomplish these things, issues like drugs in chiropractic and the other, they just go away.
Yes.
Yeah. We had quite a few people come up and wanted to join the IFCO, and they said, well, how can I help? You guys are doing so many things, and I can't do those things that some of you do. what could I give? And here's how I answer it, and let's see if you share the same. Find out what you do well, and then let us know that, and we'll build something around it.
That's right.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, you know what? When I first became president of IFCO, I made some big mistakes. One of the mistakes was I saw that there were needs that needed to be filled within the organization. And I just grabbed people from here and there and filled those holes. And that's the wrong way to go about setting things up. And so that's brilliant, is you find out what those people's gifts are and then create the gifts around them rather than filling the holes with the people. You know, so I think that's a great idea. The other thing is this: what can you do? And I've talked to several people about this weekend, but we have made a mistake, especially within the principled chiropractic profession. We have made a mistake of building these amazing lives for ourselves, amazing practices, making a lot of money, buried our head in the sand, and sat back and just got fat off chiropractic, and we didn't give back. And because we didn't give back, we've got the problems that we have right now. And and I liken it to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is dead because it doesn't have an outflow. It doesn't supply anything. It doesn't give back to another tributary. Things pour into the Dead Sea. It has tributaries and rivers that pour in, but it doesn't pour out.
Yes.
And so what we're really working hard within IFCO is taking IFCO members and leaders and creating a generation of new chiropractors that are taking responsibility for chiropractic. And when that culture becomes more prominent, that's when the real change happens. And it's already happening.
Excellent. So there's some members out there, or actually some chiropractors. 10. Oh, okay, awesome. So there's some chiropractors, might be prospective students. How can they join the IFCO, and what can they do?
Well, first of all, if you're watching right now, this is one of these critical moments in life for you, because it's easy to sit back and watch or listen to some good information, but if it's not coupled with action, you're not making a real difference in the world. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're a student, if you're a lay person, if you're a spouse of a chiropractor, if you're a chiropractor in the field, take this opportunity right now and pour back into the profession that's blessed you beyond belief. And it's really simple. You just go back to www.IFCOChiro.org. There are student membership categories. There are ruling member categories for DCs. There's chiropractic supporter categories for spouses, laypersons, or patients. And be that change. Take stock in the profession that's blessed you so much.
Yeah. Feel like taking one of their questions?
Absolutely.
All right, excellent. Here's our question for Shane. What does the IFCO do to raise awareness about chiropractic in the community? And some people who might be afraid or don't know about chiropractic?
Yeah, it's really simple, and that is the first step in our 2025 vision, and that is put more chiropractors with mouths into the profession.
Yeah.
Driving students to the chiropractic colleges so there's more of us, because we talk about the usual suspects.
Yeah.
It's always the usual suspects in our camps that are out shouting it from the mountaintops. We need more mouths out there. So to answer his question, more people will hear chiropractic, get chiropractic, if we have more chiropractors out there singing the same song. Right?
Exactly. I mean, we can't.
Thank you so much for asking that question. That was a great question. Yeah, excellent and very important. Bryn, what else do we have? What did we come up with for Shane?
Oh, we have all sorts of questions for you.
Okay, fun.
I'm interested in, how did you end up becoming the IFCO president? I mean, we went to school together.
Yeah.
We graduated at the same time. We both kind of went our way. You started practice, I started practice, and suddenly there you are, president of the IFCO, and that's really cool.
It wasn't my doing. What happened was IFCO was having a seminar, and I forget what city we were in, but I flew in to give a talk. And they had just finished their board meeting. The IFCO finished their board meeting, and I flew in, and I was informed that I was the new president. So that's how it happened. It was pretty weird. I didn't even know that there was elections or anything. Yeah. That's kind of the way it happened. So
voluntarily got elected.
Yeah, I was totally willing to do it.
But you know what, Shane? You have stepped up so far above and beyond belief.
Here's a big deal.
If you've wondered, if you ever wondered where Waldo was,
Yes. lean down a little bit.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh my God!
All right, the big deal has arrived.
I'm just so excited. You know, I saw the president of the IFCO speaking, and I just said, I got to get over there and touch him, see if he's really real. All I see him is on the internet.
It's not an image. It is not an image. He is here.
Oh my gosh!
We were going to get ready to talk with Shane about his travels, because I know you've been around the world, and recently, was it in Germany?
Well, yeah, we went to visit some of our EPOC members in Germany.
Yeah.
Dr. Danny Constable primarily, and then we went to Sweden, and we have a individual who's an IFCO member in Sweden by the name of Dr. Andreas Soderstrom, who's one of the most singular individuals you've ever met. The guy is just one of the most amazing leaders and visionaries, and we are so lucky to have him in Scandinavia leading the way. And so what he's done is he saw a need in Scandinavia for our message of chiropractic to be perpetuated. They have an association in Sweden, and there's quite a few people that really weren't pleased with the direction it was going. So what did Andreas do? Did he sit back and bitch and moan? No, he stepped up and he became that leader, and he said, listen, we gotta create a new association here, and he had a vision for that association, and it went beyond Sweden. He goes, we need a Scandinavian group, and not only do we need a Scandinavian group, but we need a Scandinavian group that is an affiliate of the IFCO, and so now we have the Nordic Chiropractic Alliance, which is a group of chiropractors from Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. Wow. And they are taking over Northern Europe with chiropractic, and of course that's going to trickle on down.
Absolutely. Liam, we have people watching us from Peru, from Colombia right now, that I know of, and there's probably a few more.
Yes.
So now, how can a group out there have a group with the IFCO? How can they become part of our organization?
Well,
you might as well be useful.
Oh, okay, right.
You're not
well,
just
I'm glad you asked. I must say,
oh, now it comes to last.
And I must tell you that now, thanks to Dr. Andreas Soderstrom, we have a virtual smorgasbord of TIG over there. So anyway, you know, and this is what's happening, is that chiropractor leaders around the world are saying exactly what you said. I want to step up, I want to get involved in an organization that's actually serious about making the change that we wish to see in the world. So I'd say the first thing you do is get on the website, www.ifcochiro.org, and send us an email. We get email, we answer our email, and contact us and say, look, I'm ready to stand up and make a difference. And you know, one of the things that sets the IFCO apart from other organizations that would call themselves international, you know, some of the other organizations are about as international as IHOPs.
See, that's my line. That's my line.
Thank you. That's a good one. Is that we truly do have an international flavor, and our board has an international member. So this is not a USA organization. This is a truly international organization, and we are looking for input from doctors from all around the world, doctors of chiropractic from all around the world. So I mean, now's the time to step up. This is the group of leaders that are taking over the world with TIC.
Excuse us,
Sherry, you're in the camera.
You're in front of the camera.
Hey there, we're back.
All right, we're back.
Just a quick commercial break.
We're live.
Just when you thought you had enough of Liam Schubel, he's back.
and you know, I love, because the two of you, even though you practice in the US or you're here most of the time, both of you have practices outside of the US, and that's adding so much to it because you understand so much more of international challenges.
That's right, and you know what? There's been organizations in the past that have tried to do an international thing, and they have, you know, the word chiropractic in their organization. And it's kind of been all like, hey, you're a chiropractor, you're a chiropractor, let's all get along and sing Kumbaya, you know, and let's get along just because we're chiropractors, let's move together. That's not working. That strategy is about as effective as the United Nations, right? You know, the strategy has to be, you know what, let's get behind principles of chiropractic, and let's bring those principles of chiropractic to the world. And I think that's what separates or makes the IFCO very unique on the world stage, is that this is an organization about actually fomenting the principles of chiropractic. And that's what we're all in unison on and aligned with, is anything having to do with getting that vertebral subluxation correction to the world. Because everybody, 7 billion people on the planet, deserve the right to have their spines checked for vertebral subluxation. This is not about muscle. musculoskeletal treatments, folks. As much as some people would want to make it, that is the very bottom barrel of the chiropractic fishbowl. So, we've got to bring this about life expression. We've got to, bring the argument that every person on the planet benefits when they're living a life, with their subluxations correctly.
Yeah, I would just add to that the key thing that Liam just said was getting behind the principles of chiropractic and then bringing it to the world. And it's that bringing it to the world part, because frankly, what the chiropractic community is sick and tired of is organizations existing for the sake of existing for themselves, right?
Yeah.
How I hear so much say, listen, I've been a member of this group, and what are they really doing?
Right.
So you've heard our vision for 2025. You see where we're going and what we're doing, and that we're not growing just for the sake of growing, but the vision here, whether it's IFCO, whether it's the Nordic Chiropractic Alliance's affiliate group, the Global Summit in the Dominican Republic, this is for one purpose, and that's seeing people living life unsubluxated, walking around in a connected state. And we have a vision of a world that is unsubluxated, and you know what people say, well, that's impossible, it's an ideal. You know what we say? You shoot for the stars and you'll hit the moon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Bryn.
And doesn't it also affect, by being international, that the countries that do not have laws and regulations about chiropractic in place yet, that with those IFCO groups in those countries, that we're the ones who can, be the ones putting the verbiage together.
What we're seeing is with those international chiropractors that are members of the IFCO is inside their practices, they're taking care of influential people. And that's where we're making the connections with the governments. And then we've got 2 or 3 irons in the fire right now, and I don't want to kind of let that out right now just because it's a touchy political thing, but there's 2 or 3 irons we have in the fire right now internationally at setting up chiropractic laws in those countries for chiropractors to practice. Now it's a lot of work, which is why we need people to step up and help in other areas, so we can put energy in those areas that are so important.
I'm glad the big deal stepped away, because now that us 3 are together, we just discovered this down at the meeting in Naples, that we are B.J. Palmer Philosophy Award winners, all 3 of us,
that's right,
which is totally awesome. And so Sherman is sponsoring New Beginnings this round, and they had a busload of 45 to 50 students come up to watch New Beginnings. And so next month we're doing a Lyceum, and that's going to be awesome. I love Lyceum time. And I know you're on the board. We had, who was it earlier this morning, brainchild of the Sherman Connect calls?
Danny Knowles.
Danny Knowles, sorry. So Danny Knowles was on, and a few other board members from Sherman. Can we talk a little bit about Sherman Lyceum for a moment? Why is that
well, I can tell you right off the bat now, being on the board of Sherman, we've got as a board member, we keep a pretty close pulse on what's happening at Lyceum. And chiropractors are notorious for registering for events last minute.
Yeah.
But already, if we just take the registrations we have for Sherman College Lyceum right now, it's already slated to be the biggest Lyceum ever.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's partially due to an amazing staff and team at Sherman, and amazing board of trustees, and it's primarily due to the leadership and the vision of our new chiropractic president, Dr. Edwin Cordero. And the reason I love Edwin is he has set the mold for what the new chiropractic college leader president looks like. And this is a man that exists and lives for chiropractic, not for himself. It's not about Edwin Cordero. It's not about Sherman College. It's about chiropractic.
Chiropractic, that's it.
And that's the new mold.
Yes.
That's the new mold.
I know part of being an IFCO member, Liam and myself are heading the committee for the students, so we're creating student chapters on the campuses of the different chiropractic colleges. So we just had another Twitter question come in. How can a group start an IFCO chapter on their campus?
In their area.
In their area.
Well, I'll tell you what, first thing is drop me an email, okay? My email, you can reach me at drshanewalker@hotmail.com. So it's drshanewalker@hotmail.com, and then we'll put you in touch with Frank and the other guys that can give you the tools that you need to get this thing up and rolling immediately.
That's right. Isn't this great technology? We can just sit here and talk with the world, and they can respond back to us.
Hey, ask him what school he's at, by the way.
I can ask him.
Can you ask him what school he's at?
can.
That'd be great. This is amazing.
Isn't it? It's
so
fun.
he's twittering based on the video, and we're talking back to him.
And if you want to get in contact with us and ask your questions and throw your comments out there on Twitter, use hashtag IFCO in order to connect with us here. Make sure to get your questions in while Shane Walker is still sitting here with us.
Right. Okay. So we'll see how that
if he responds.
If he responds. So now another question is when we're transitioning from student to chiropractor, we want to make sure that the students who are IFCO members remain student chiropractor IFCO members.
Yeah.
What are we doing to help that process?
Incentivizing them.
Yeah.
And here's the incentive. You know, people pay tens of thousands of dollars a year for chiropractic coaches, and they provide an amazing service. And I recommend every new chiropractor have a coach, whether it's a mentor, somebody in the field, whether it's a coaching company. Tiger Woods, for years, was the #1 best golfer in the world. He still had a coach. Some people can afford that right off the bat, some people can't. The great thing is when you're an IFCO student member, that $50, we need to raise that $50 membership
Get in now.
pays for your membership all the way through your chiropractic career, college career, and your first year as a DC member.
Wow.
Then we have our mentorship program. We have a group of about 500 chiropractors, of about 12 chiropractors, all seeing a minimum of 500 patient visits a week, that are willing to get on the phone once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever it takes, with one of our new student doc members, and mentor you on getting your practice up and going, getting into practice, whatever needs to happen. And what is that worth? I mean, what is it worth to get on the phone with a guy seeing 800 visits a week, and him get on the phone with you 3 times a week for an hour?
Yeah.
You can't put an amount on that.
And that sort of is bringing us over to the Global Summit, because these chiropractors are going to be at the Global Summit helping us. So let's just chit-chat a little bit about the Global Summit. What's going on in Dominican Republic?
Okay, big deal here with the Global Summit, because we're co-missioning with Peter Morgan's mission trip. So you can actually come to the Global Summit. We got more hecklers in the crowd.
Yeah, you guys can't see this at home.
Yeah, that's nice, Peter.
A Hawaiian greeting from over there.
That's right. I love you too. Did I just do that for the camera?
Remember, this is family oriented
okay.
here. Show.
No, so Peter Morgan sees the vision and where we're going with this thing. And so we're linking up Peter Morgan's mission trip with the IFCO Global Summit.
Perfect.
So you can come to the Dominican Republic, get 2 days of chiropractic with the IFCO at the Global Summit, and then just jump on a bus, cross the border into Haiti at your own risk with Peter Morgan for his mission trip, and then do the mission trip.
Wow.
So I can't think of anything better. And then, of course, we have about 20 speakers over that day and a half of the Global Summit. We've got Jeannie Ohms coming for ICPA. Mm-hmm. She's going to be doing a little program for us with pediatrics. Better cut it out, Peter.
Who's your most important speaker?
Peter Kevorkian, who we just took off the schedule. And, okay, I know Joe Borio's bringing some of his coaching clients down from Chiropassion, and I'm leaving people out, so I'm going to stop trying to drop names because I'm leaving people out. But I mean, it's going to be the chiropractic event of the year.
Yeah, I remember the first Global Summit I watched on the internet. So that was great technology to help bring it to us. And then last year I went out to Scotland. That was beautiful. That was a great time out there. We accomplished a whole lot. I think there was like 30 countries represented while we were out there.
That's right.
So that was great. So I'm looking really forward to this one because it's literally right in our backyard.
That's right.
And whenever you get the beach.
I wish the Caribbean was in my backyard. I don't know what your backyard looks like.
Well, it's a lot closer to Scotland.
It's in my backyard. I'm in South Florida.
Well,
so
that's,
and you get the beach and the restaurants. That's one thing, but then you add chiropractic to it. There's nothing better.
It's dreamland.
Yeah,
it's dreamland.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We have more hecklers in the audience. We'll get to them later. Remember, you're going up next.
And if you're not here at New Beginnings right now, you need to be here at the next New Beginnings.
By the way, I'm coming out at 4.
That's what you think.
Very important.
Okay. So we're really excited about the summit.
Okay, so let's wrap things up. Thank you so much for coming on today on IFCO-TV. This is something new that we're doing, and if you guys like it, make sure that you let us know through Twitter, the chat box.
How about this? I like it, Frank.
Yeah.
I like it, Bryn.
All right.
There's my Twitter.
So we're going to do this more. Maybe another event. We can do it maybe at Lyceum or another New Beginnings. We're just testing it out, and something new that IFCO is bringing with technology and social media presence. So it's just the next step in evolution for chiropractic in the profession. So I think it's groundbreaking today because
this is big stuff.
Yeah, it's big stuff getting out to you. If you have any last questions, get them in. Liam Schubel is coming up, but before him, we have Jim Dubell and Bobby Tarantino.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better, yeah.
Right.
I prefer them over the other guy.
Excellent. Yep, absolutely. Bryn, any last thoughts?
I love it.
This is good. We had a great time so far. If we ended the day today, it would be perfect, but we have so many more.
It would be. This would be a good time to end it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.